Hello, everyone. I'm Vivek,
Hello.
and I welcome you to the fourth episode of Vidya Manthan Season 2. This series is organized by Authority Solutions and Punekar News. In today's episode, we will be talking about rethinking school ecosystem post the lockdown. Debates are rife for justifiable reasons about how soon, at what level, and in what manner school needs to be reopened in the aftermath of the second COVID-19 wave in the country. In fact, in different parts of the globe, this experience is hugely varied, ranging from total school closure to fairly uninterrupted schooling to partial and phased reopening. We have seen all kind of systems that is currently functioning. These efforts in the perilous setting of the pandemic, though inadequate in the vast sea of neediness, encourage us to reimagine the idea of schooling and to push beyond just the debate about reopening schools to raise a prior question of the kind of school that our children may return to. The seeds of such rethinking are already available in the ways in which school children are articulating what they value about their classroom life and what they are terribly missing in these days and months of school closure. It is the yearning for friendship and sharing, even for the classroom fights, and their eagerness to meet up with the teachers face to face that sound in ringing notes in many conversations with them. To discuss on today's topic, we have with us three esteemed school principals. First, we have Ratna Haryal ma'am, principal of JSPM's Javan Public School. Ma'am has earned BA in English, B.Ed, MA in English, and MA in Education degrees. She has vast experience of more than 35 years in the field of education. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining us for today's discussion.
Thank you so much, Vivek.
Next, we have Dr. Cybil K. Sanyal, principal of B.K. Birla Center for Education. He has done his master's in English and history and holds PhD in English literature. Sir has over 3 decades of work experience and lots of awards to count in. I'll just mention few. Sir has received Best 100 Principal Award in India from ATK Group in 2019. He was awarded Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award as the Best Principal in 2017. Bharati Vidya Shiromani Award by International Institute of Education, New Delhi in 2018. The Best Principal Award, the late Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Award by International Human Rights Association in 2016. The Best Progressive Principal Award, Dayanand Saraswati Award by Pune Administration in 2014. Welcome, sir. We are glad to have you with us for today's
Thank
talk.
you. Thank you very much.
We also have with us Mrs. Joya Adhikari. Ma'am is the principal of Sihagar City School. Ma'am has MSc in Applied Microbiology and B.Ed degrees. She has experience of over 22 years in the field of education. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, let's start with today's discussion. Ratna, ma'am, I'll start with you. So, now since news is around the corner that we may get the permission to unlock and students may see the face of school and teachers, how do we visualize the schools post lockdown?
At the outset, Vivek, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to be on your elite platform of ethos and to be a panelist along with worthy co-speakers along with me from reputed schools of Pune. Uh, and I wish everybody a very good evening to all the viewers as well, and especially my own school students, their parents, and my staff. Yes, you wanted to know about the situation that will be there in the schools after the lockdown period. See, first of all, I feel that the importance of schools has increased by and large because now sitting at home continuously, children and the parents have realized the importance of schools. Yes, during the pandemic, I always feel that we were lucky that this pandemic had occurred during the time when we were technically well advanced. That is why the children did not suffer in the field of knowledge, in the field of education, and we could reach them uh, through this technology. The children of 20th century are also very smart. They could also get connected, though the teachers were trained in their during their BA time as through chalk and dust sort of learning. But they also picked up very fast. We all got connected to each other. And just as medicine is very important during the pandemic, the education it was also very important, and we always were very lucky that we could get connected with the children and we could impart them the knowledge, and the education continued. And today only we have celebrated our felicitation of 10th standard, this board result, somehow mm, taking all the care. CBSE had conducted board examinations keeping in mind the lives of the children, which was more important, and that was saved. Children have passed their 10th standard. Of course, there were a few things that we had to accept, but the most important thing is that our children's life is intact and still they are moving ahead. So post pandemic, I feel that the importance of schools will increase all the more, because everything was there. We were reaching the children, we were giving them online co-curricular activities as well. Debates were conducted, like now we are having this talk which can be relayed to everyone. um, Otherwise it could have been confined to one auditorium only. So in this way there is a benefit, there are not many benefits related to this, which will continue in our teaching process later on. But human touch was missing. When the schools had reopened and the children had come right in front of us, the happiness on the face of teachers and the children, it was really, you cannot replace that happiness with anything else. And the children right in front of us, it makes a lot of difference. Our blessings, our soul that gets connected with them. So that is very important. So post lockdown, yes, we will be very happy to be connected with the children live. And of course we will have to maintain all these norms of pandemic continuously for a long time, maintaining the social distance, wearing the masks, and all these things. These are good hygienic habits actually, and it will continue. This is what I feel. Yes, thank you.
Definitely, ma'am. The importance of school and this has increased for many fold. People have actually understood it. So, Sanyal sir, I'll come to you.
Yeah.
What is your take on this? How do we visualize the schools post lockdown? When do we see this happening?
See, just a minute. What happened is, I'll just tell you. It's going to, for me, I look into it as a very tough terrain ahead to traverse, because see, many thoughts are still circulating among the parents' mindset. Will the third wave come? What will happen? Should I send the children back home? Again, would they have to come back? Should I send them to school? Then the next thing which circulates among the parents is, if I send them now, again, if I have to take them back, then what is going to happen? Should I better keep them in my house only? But the real fear is, this long absent from the school is going to create a lot of problems to the students in future, because the journey ahead is going to be really tough. As we see, we are always talking of a lot of professions, which will be closing down, new professions will be coming in. So if there's not constant teaching, as ma'am had earlier said, unless you do not have human touch in the education cannot be really excelled, because parents will still think, however you better you tell them that we are going to follow all the protocols of social distancing, we are going to follow all the protocols of different maintenance, but there are going to be parents who are going to keep the students back. And if this goes on, if this prolongs, some students, I've already started hearing them, if this goes on for some time, possibly next year's exams also might get delayed or might get cancelled. They've already seen the picture in front. But if this happens, I'll tell you, Vivek, is going to be very, very bad for not only for the education, but for the children per se, because they have to come back. Today's children, if you look at them, reading, sorry. Writing, sorry. They have forgotten these habits. Now, CBS is not going to say copy paste from the internet and paste and give your answers. These things have to be looked into it. I look into it as a very tough journey in front to traverse through. Unless the students' parents don't become optimistic and send their children down, we teachers are also helpless. That's it.
Definitely, sir. So rightly you said the social isolation, mental illness, students not following a routine. They are big concerns that are arising in front of us as educators.
Sure.
Definitely, there would be a way to get these things again back on track. But yes, it is a problem for now that has happened due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, Joya, ma'am, I'll come to you. Uh,
Yeah,
how do you
I
visualize this?
agree. Yeah, I agree with Ratna Haryal ma'am as well as Sanyal sir on few points. What I feel, this can't be a everlasting situation. This can't be. But then, yes, immediately if we reopen our schools, there's a threat of spreading it. Maharashtra government, they decided to reopen the schools on 15th of July from I think 8th to 12th in remote area, in villages or in the places where the cases were less or zero cases in a month's time. So they did that, and very nicely the school started, and again the cases started rising, and then they had to close it. So such situation may arise again, so we have to think very rationally, and we have to first educate our students, our parents. They should all follow all the protocols, all the COVID related protocols that are set by the medical agencies and guided by them. And then only if each one of us, including the staff, students, parents, if each one of us take the responsibility and take care of themselves, we can reopen, and it will be really nice for all the educational institutes to see their students back in the campuses. But then every one of us, each one of us has to take the responsibility. That is what I want to say. And I see the reopening of school after the pandemic as in hybrid mode. It will not be totally online or offline mode. It can't be. Few students, we have to train them through offline mode as well as online mode. Certain topics like practicals are there, we can't give them a hands on through online, though there are some O labs and some concepts like that. But still we can't give them that feel of having a hands on practicals and all. So for such reason, we have to call the students once it reopens. We are following all the protocols, and few topics which we can handle over online classes, we have to continue with that mode. So I think it should be in a hybrid mode we should begin. This is what I feel.
No, definitely, ma'am. This COVID has shown us a way through which education can be conducted. That was the online mode. Yeah, earlier it was just there in bits and pieces, but now we have understood to implement it as a whole. And this will continue. We cannot just remove online even if we reopen. So, Joya, ma'am, I'll continue with this only, with you only. How this online education has widened the gap of educational inequalities among the learners. Educational inequality already persisted. So, but this has created a digital divide. So, what is your view on this?
I totally agree with this point, Vivek. As you know, we know that we get the students from every group of society, every background, and there are students who are facing challenge in terms of the device and the internet access. And for them, they are falling few steps back in the course of learning. Those who are suffice with all the you can say the resources, they are learning nicely. But then there are sectors where the students are not getting enough facilities to continue with the online teaching. So sadly they are falling back. somewhere. So it the inequality gap is widening gradually. There are different types of students also. The brighter ones, they basically, they just need a guiding light to do good. So they usually do good, but there are students who are less motivated, who need our personal touch. So when they are in front of our eyes, we can actually, guide them, holding their hands towards the right path. So that is somewhere missing, and the students, the gap is widening, that is what I will say. And it's really sad. We are, as educators, we are trying our level best to bridge this gap by practicing various methods, various norms. But yes, it's an unfortunate fact. This is what I want to say.
Definitely, ma'am. We know the census. Less than 50% of students in the country have access to smartphone and internet. Yes, these are the facts. We cannot deny that. Ratna, ma'am, your take on this, please.
Yes, as you have also mentioned, Vivek, that digital divide has occurred over here because when the children come to the school, this socioeconomic level is actually it disappears, because once the children wear the uniform and they are right in front of you, they are your children, they are your students. Everybody is equal. But now the situation is such that this is impacting uh, this is having a great impact on the education of the children, because there are two sets of children in front of us now whose parents are educated and they have internet connection and all the facilities and the help of their parents. Now we need parents help as well. And now there is another set of children whose parents are not educated, who do not have sufficient help at home, that is mobile phones, or even some of the parents, they have lost their jobs and they have gone back home to their native places. They have gone to their villages, they are in remote areas, though they are connected with us, but they are not having the facilities to continue the studies as smoothly as those children who are in the city, in the town, they are getting. So, depending upon the situation of the parents which they are into now in this situation, the education is also is being hampered for them. So that is really very unfortunate. And we would definitely wait for the good time to come back, and we would definitely put in extra efforts for those children to come up to the better level. As Swami Vivekananda had also mentioned, that this is the duty of each and every teacher to firstly go down to the level of children and then gradually bring them up to their own level. So every teacher will have to have that soul within herself. Of course, when she goes and stands in front of the children, she not only imparts the knowledge, she imparts the soul. So we are waiting for that time. And then each and every teacher will have to uh, be fully dedicated for those set of children who have missed out all these part of education during this pandemic. Thank you.
Well said, ma'am. That should be the thought that we all educators should ensure and try our level best and leave none of the stones unturned to ensure that our budding future of the nation have their education journey is hampered at any cost, for sure. Sanyal sir,
See,
I
for
would love to
me,
listen
what
to you.
happened is my school is basically a fully residential school. So we opened out about from the 1st of August. My students have already come to school. Now, because we are in a block, so we don't have that fear of anybody going out of the school. Neither my staff goes out, nor anybody from outside comes in. But that is one way we are safe. The students are in school. But the other thing is, I've seen a drastic change in various factors, four main factors. One is the behavior of the child. A child who has grown up with the other child from class 4, because we start from class 4 at school, now they've come to class 9. They're not mixing with one another. Why? Because the parents have said there is a social distancing. That is one, the behavioral change has taken place. They don't like to sit next to one another in the classroom because of social distancing. You know, the typical thing of grabbing food from somebody else and playing their childhood growing up, that has diminished. We don't see that. So this separation is also one cause, the social separation that we see amongst children. When they stay in the hostel, the life of a student in the hostel is one of the happiest moments for them because they can do anything they want away from the parents' rule. That's missing. No, we cannot, I cannot, I take this, I go there. Previously, I think the student did not know whose brush they were using while they were brushing. But now those things have been stopped. The other thing which I've seen is this particular online education has widened the gap because it's been a boom for the weak and the moderate students, the online classes. And it's become a little problematic for the educated or the good scholar students. Because for the normal children, you'll see them, they'll put the video on, they'll come out, they'll log in, you'll see a still photo, and you don't know what they're doing behind the screen. Their parents might be working parents going out, so they also don't know what the child is doing. Child is having a very, very happy time. And students who want to do really good, who want to excel, if they do not have the connectivity as many as my previous speaker said in various places, because I have got students who come from the northeast also. So if at all they have a problem over there, that poor chap is having a problem coping up with education. He has to come back, sir, I cannot hear my voice. So yes, this has been it has been type of a cycle where students have excelled because they've got all the facilities. Really good students have not excelled because they don't have the facilities. The weaker students have had a happy moment because being in school, they're not in school. And outcome of that I can see when the students have come back to school, because they are not the same students which I saw them a year back, possibly a year and a half back. Yes, this is something which the parents also have to look in, when they're in the online classes. They have to really monitor, but it's not possible for all parents. But then we all wait with the fingers crossed, as ma'am Ratna had also said, waiting when they're going to come back in full and really be in a position to take care of them. That's the way I look into it.
Definitely, sir. The fear factor has impacted their social and emotional quotient, their abilities to actually gel with the friend circle and society as a whole. Because
Right.
the situation has completely turned around. Earlier, the mediums of distraction which were there, they have become the only source of learning these days.
Right.
So yeah, these things are bound to happen, and it's our responsibility and our duty to ensure that it does not last long after we open. So, Sanyal sir, I'll continue with you only. From
Yeah.
the technical aspect, do you think that lockdown has created an educational gap among students? And what should be the ways to cope up with them?
It's absolutely created a gap. As I was telling you in the previous thing, a student, in this online classes, when you are inside, if I am a little weak student, but I want to ask a question, I'm not so vocal in asking questions. If it was a normal school, I could have gone to the teacher and said in a one-to-one situation, "Ma'am, I did not understand." Here, if you say I did not understand, then 30 other students are hearing what you're saying. So the student feels that, oh, I'll get insulted. So I better not ask the question. Their parents might not be so much educationally qualified to handle that situation. So, that gap is there. They don't want to open up in a virtual platform. So they keep quiet. The other thing is, if you look into it, the serious understanding has created a major problem. If all the students say, yes, we understood, that poor will also say, yes, I understood. Because he thinks that if I say I do not understand, what will my friends say? Oh, no, so you don't understand this also. But that boy really has a problem. So this gap is growing bigger and bigger. Because here, let's say for me, I got a big advantage. Even in the night, my teachers are accessible to the students. They can sit because being in a boarding establishment. But in an online atmosphere, that student finishes that 35 minutes or 40 minutes, it's over. When he cannot go back, he might be asking his parents. Parents will say, "Nahi, mujhe to pata nahi hai." Then the coaching classes are closed as per the government laws. So yes, the gap is widening, and I'm really feeling afraid because many students have come back to school, some have not come back. So I think this myopic approach of the parents of keeping them back should open up. They have to be a little bit optimistic because the problem is there. It will continue. We have to be ready to face it in the best hygiene manner we can. So keeping the child back home, going through all these things are going to be really detrimental to the child's career in front. Right, sir.
So rightly said. Yes, facts are facts. Of course, that cannot be denied. Joya, ma'am, your take on this, please.
Yeah, I agree with with the point that yeah, definitely the gap is increasing, and how to cope up with that gap is a big challenge, big question in front of us. So, what I feel that we have to devise some method to reach out to such students. Identify first thing is to identify such students who are lagging behind the rest of the class in terms of academics, or we have to identify, and then one on one we have to counsel them and clear their doubts or whatever problems they are having. It is not always the academic problem that bother them. There are personal issues as well they face a lot, which in physical classrooms, when they come in front of the teacher, teachers can gaze the situation and try to help the students out by counseling them, by talking to them, giving them solutions for their problems. That thing is missing. So the students these days, they do not come to the teacher with their problems. They are not, the problems are not traced out. So that also some way we need to reach out uh, to our students. I don't know how to express that, but definitely, some devices to be maintained. I mean, more communication is required between the teacher and the student, other than that 35 or 40 minutes period. So some extra time needs to be given to them, maybe in the evening. And you know uh, most of the teachers, they are doing so. If the students are reaching out to the teachers post their school times, online school timings, they are basically helping the students with whatever they can, online counseling and all. So this is the way I think we should deal with the situation.
Definitely, ma'am. But yes, we will definitely find a way. Ratna, ma'am, I'll come to you. So, what do you think? This, of course,
Yes,
this lockdown has created educational gap among students. So, what should be the ways to cope
yes,
up with them?
yes, it has widened the educational gap because those children, as I already have mentioned, that those who are not able to get connected with us due to various reasons, their personal reasons, and like Jayama mentioned, that uh, the problems at home and the other emotional problems that they are facing. Due to the pandemic, most of the uh, in the houses there was a lot of crisis because of the economic crisis and medical issues. So due to that, the children were not able to get connected. The gap was created, yes. But at the same time, the solution for this is the same, that our teachers have to work extra for them. And earlier, as we always mention it to the parents also, that earlier the teachers timings were from 8 to 2, 8 to 3 in the schools, but now they are working 24 hours. In the dreams also, they keep preparing their videos to be forwarded to the children. They work extra, they teach them online, they prepare their videos so that those children who do not get connected with them during the online sessions, they can watch the videos later on, and then they can get the knowledge through those videos. Some of the parents, they are working, they take their phones along with them. Then that also really creates a lot of problem for the children because they miss out. There are two or three children at home at times. At least two children are always there at home, and they have only one mobile. So they have to share the mobile. The classes are going on at the same time. Now, of course, after 1 year, the parents have, instead of spending money somewhere else, they have spent the money on buying the gadgets for the children so that their studies could continue. So the thing is, the teachers have formed the groups, online groups of the children, and they give them those who miss out. The teachers are always teachers; they are always ready to help their children, and they remain connected through phone calls also. There are a few children who did not have access to internet, so through phone calls we gave them, imparted the knowledge, and gave them the guidelines that how they have to study. And this is how we have to work 24 hours now. We remain connected with the children, and we have to really work extend. This is the only time that we have to do this, and like a mother is always ready for the child to help him anytime, any moment. the child needs her. Teachers' heart is also like that, and they are always ready to help their children. This is what I want to mention. And I hats off to teachers. And I always say that as we salute our doctors during this pandemic, we also salute the teachers because they are the ones who are imparting knowledge, keeping their own problems aside. It's not that people, the other the social life is disturbed, or the people, children are only having problems. The teachers are also human beings; they are also having problems, but they keep their problems aside and do their duty. That's what I wanted to
Definitely,
mention.
ma'am. Hats off to all the teachers who have put in so much extra effort to ensure that there is no hindrance in students' learning. And yes, I know the cases where there has been no summer break for teachers since last year. They did not have in 2020 also, and they did not have it this year as well. So yes, it's a salute to all the teachers who have put up these efforts. Ratna ma'am, I'll continue with on you only. So we have discussed the previous two questions. So here pops up a question that why digital learning is not a sustainable solution for education crisis caused by the COVID-19.
COVID-19 has come along with many problems, but yes, digital learning, I would not say that it is not a sustainable solution. It can work for those who have self-start, who are self-motivated, but not for those. See, in the school also we have two sets of children: those who study on their own and those who have to be continuously reminded, motivated. So, as Dr. Sanyal had also mentioned, this happens. The children, they sit in front of the camera for some time, then they switch it off, and then they uh, mute themselves, and then what they are doing, we do not come to. So, sincerity on the part of the children is very important. Because if they are sincere, the parents are after them. At times, parents have to motivate them. At earlier, the parents used to come to us to take our guidance and help. That madam, please help my child. He is not studying. Now we have to go to the parents and request them. Please give them some time and guide them while they are sitting in front of us in the camera because we have so many limitations. We cannot control the children from behind the screen as we could just by entering in the classroom. The students used to be alert that now yes they have to start the studies, but now they uh, can make many excuses that technically they are not connected. Oh, they have gone offline. Sorry, it is a technical issue. This that. So they have many excuses, especially the senior classes. This is what we are facing nowadays. Yes, sir.
Right, ma'am, actually, but it has gradually decreased. Initially, the problems were a lot. Students found different ways to ensure that they can, just bluff the teachers or the schools. But now I think this pandemic has taught them a lot. They also have understood the importance of school, teachers, lessons, etc. Sanyal, sir,
Yes, sir.
so what is your take on this? That is digital learning a sustainable solution for education crisis caused by COVID-19? Yes or no, whatever you feel, and why?
No, it's just a stopgap. You cannot continue on an online platform. We are not students studying, doing our management from Harvard, so we understand as teachers, we understand everything. Here, there are parents, like say, for example, my school. I have students who come from many students over here, they come from disturbed families. I have students here where parents do not have the time to take care of the child because of their professional engagements. So these students are made many parents make them happy by giving them some costly gifts or some burger sandwich. बच्चा खा के पी के class करो. You can ask our own selves how happy we used to be when we were small children towards education. We used to also find gaps of trying to avoid education. Some games, some avoid. I hope today teacher does not come. I hope it rains so there'll be no school. Even we had all these things. So we cannot suddenly become prophets and say that education has to be taken seriously by the children. So children will find gaps. There should be somebody to monitor them. Okay, everybody is not a bookworm that they're going to be with their books. But what happens is in a school like us, where parents are away from the children, parents are busy, parents are traveling, or they're from disturbed families, the sufferer is the child. If the child does not have somebody to fall back on to asking their queries, this digital platform is no solution. Digital platform is just a platform to say, yes, education is going on. Good and bad is a debatable question. It is going on. That's the only thing down the line. Because I don't know if this goes on for a longer gap, we are required. It's just we have to open up. We have to come back. If students do not come here, as I said previously, introvert students, they are the biggest sufferers in this online query. So we have to have a physical contact class at the earliest. Hope everything improves because this cannot sustain for a longer time. Right.
Right, sir. Uh, Joya, ma'am, what
Uh,
do you think?
yeah, I agree with Sanyal sir and Ratna ma'am as well. It is not a sustainable solution at all. Why I am saying so, online classes, they have their own disadvantages. Like screen time, long screen time is actually impacting their health adversely, right? Their eyes are getting affected. Then sedentary lifestyle, they are sitting in front of their laptop or mobile for longer hours, maybe at a stretch 4 hours or 5 hours, whatever the time schedule is there. That is also causing some health problems. And then no physical exercise, for holistic development. Food is also required, education is also required, and exercise is also required as much. So they need to have a feel of their playground. They have to run, they have to meet their friends. That social touch is required, along with academics. Academics only doesn't help in holistic development. All these social skills also need to be taken care of. So I don't think that online education is a good idea, good solution. It can be an assistant in education. We can use it as a tool, definitely, because some very good tools are there through which we can clear the concepts in a better way than the usual classroom, old style classrooms and all. Verbally, when we give the concept, they have to imagine, and all the students, they don't have that wide imagination. But yes, definitely, when they see the videos and the PDF file can be sent easily to them, then podcasts are there. So all these things actually help them in understanding the concept. But then other factors are also there. Then for their holistic development, I don't think online classes are the sustainable solution. They need to
Right,
come back to
ma'am.
school physically.
So you mentioned the holistic development, overall development multiple times. So comes the next question that what is the role of physical schools in a child's holistic development? I'll start with you only, Joya, ma'am.
Yeah, see, what I'll say, this child is coming, the parents are sending the child to in the school for academic purposes. Basically, this is a general concept. But I'll say a child, when in its own course of time of growth, he grows physically, he grows intellectually, he grows socially. So all these areas are important. Social development is also, you know I'll say, more important than their educational development. And knowledge you can gain anytime in your life. Even a mediocre student can be a very knowledgeable person in future. That may happen. Knowledge is available everywhere, just at a click. But then the skills that they learn in their course of schooling, that makes them a better person, that makes them a successful person. Their ability to handle various situations, maybe a fight between two friends, maybe a situation that comes in the classroom, an awkward situation. So their ability to cope up with all these situations actually matters. Hence I'll say, for holistic development, physically schools, coming to school is very important. Meeting the friends, meeting the teachers, many a times, they have a thought process which need to be changed. Behind the screen we can't reach out to their mind, but yeah, if they physically are present in front of us, we can study them, we can read them out, we can guide them in the right way, we can help them in choosing the right track or right decision, taking the right decision. So for a holistic development of a child, I think social skills are to be taken care of, not only the academics. That is what I will say.
Definitely, ma'am. Of course, the hard skills, they can always be learned, but the soft skills are developed at that age,
At
and
that
that's
age.
where the schools contribute maximum. So, Ratna, ma'am, your take on this, please. What is the role of physical schools in the child's holistic development?
Yes, it is a good saying that no knowledge without college. And see, it is very important. The physical school is very important because there are so many things that we get in the school only. That is why the schools were made and the children were sent to the schools. Not only the proper schools with big infrastructure, but even like in Manasari, like the old ashrams where you sit down on the mat, they were also important right from the beginning. From the ancient time, the importance of schools have been there because it plays a very important role in the development of the child. Right from the prayer, when we all pray together, we feel that it reaches God. It does have a very positive impact on the lives of the children and the in purifying the atmosphere around. So right from there, then playing all together in the big ground in the schools, which is not available in the homes. Most of the people are staying in the flats nowadays. Earlier, there used to be big houses for everyone in the villages and in small towns, but now in big cities we have very limited area to live and grow. So school, of course, peer group pressure is there, and then the happiness with the friends. Uh, you learn a lot from your friends also. You become what your friends are. That is why I always keep telling my students that choose your friends according to your destination in life that you want to reach, your the goals which you want to achieve. So the teacher's presence itself, so many children are inspired not by the great leaders, but by their teachers. They remember their teachers for throughout their lives. And then when they become something great in their lives, they want to go back to their teachers, touch their feet. And then nowadays, social media is quite active, so they show it off over there as well. Even I'm yet connected with my teachers of primary section, of nursery. So, school and school teachers, they play a very important role in the life of a child because a child's mind is very pure, delicate, emotional. So a child develops in the school itself. When you go for an interview, as soon as you enter, your personality itself reflects that you are from which family and you are from which school. So physical school is very important in the life of a student and in every human being. That is why I would say that it is very, very important. It plays an important role. Thank you.
Well said, ma'am. There cannot be a better explanation. Sanyal, sir. So,
See,
according to you, what is the role of physical schools
both my
in child's
learned
holistic development?
principals have really explained it in length, the importance of physical presence. And I go with all what they say until the last word. It's really, really important. But today, if you do not come to school, you do not understand the basic essence of life. Today also, I might be in my last stages of my education career, but still I cannot forget my school friends because we grew up. When we made friends in those days, our friendship did not have cars, creed, sex, money, nothing. You are my friend. Let's share. When we come to this age, then we start thinking that what is the benefit of making that person my friend? It's really unfortunate. Some nowadays, many parents also dictate to the students who their friends should be. It's very unfortunate, and in social platform it becomes more. The next thing which parents say is, "I forget sports and this and that, just study." If that could be it, you know, there are certain things we should also understand. There's a myth in Indian schools or Indian parents. If you study, only you can excel. If you add sports to it, you cannot. Carolina Zevitsky, the cyclist who won the gold medal in the Tokyo Olympics, she's a BSc mathematics, MSc mathematics, PhD from Cambridge in pure maths. What else do you require to again become an Olympic champion? So these are all made up stories that no, no, if you do this, you cannot. If you do that, you cannot. Forget it. This is just the basic. If you do not have physical contact in school, if you do not have the feeling of the school, I think your life only growing up is in a problem. You cannot open up. As she said, your interviews, your physical communication, everything depends on your contact with your colleagues. Do not stay home and try to excel in this. It is not physically possible. You learn when you travel. That's what I would like to say. I really go with what my other principals have said. Very clear on this. Yes, sir.
So there cannot be a better definition of holistic development than what you've said. And so that's what holistic development is. It's not the bookish knowledge or what you learn in science, maths, or English. It's from the peer group. It's in the ground. It's in the assembly hall. Yes, that's what we call holistic development. So Sanyal sir, I'll continue with you only. So that we have seen reduced syllabus, cancellation of exam, direct promotion, to mention a few among lots of other disruptions in providing quality education that we've witnessed since last 1.5 years. So how do we plan to bridge the gap that has been created?
See, first and foremost, reduction of syllabus, reduction of learning. I don't know. CBSE is a learned group, so they have done it. What is the outcome of it is also a questionable thing as far as I am concerned. It's my personal quest. Because I suddenly hear my teachers saying, "Sir, chapter number 4 is there, chapter number 6 is there, chapter number 5 is not there." But unless I do not teach chapter number 5, chapter number 6 cannot be understood. So it's a very good way of saying that you teach this is not there, but if you do not teach that, that is also not there. So teachers have to teach all three. So there's a lot of mix, and cutting corners of your education, because see, when these books were made or when these syllabuses were made, there were a lot of brainstorming which was implemented into it. Okay, that's why to make it a complete subject, especially in mathematics. If you do this and you do that and you don't do the middle one, then doing the last portion becomes really impossible for a child. So these things have to be looked into it, and we have to have. I think they might be doing it only for the COVID issues or covering up the syllabus here, but this is really harmful to the students. Cutting corners as far as syllabus and all is concerned, because every syllabus is interlinked to the other syllabus, especially in the higher classes. In literature, if out of the 10 stories that we learn in class 6, 5 are how the grandmother was made afraid by the ghost and this was by the animal. So if you miss 10 chapters, also not a problem. But if you miss the same thing in grammar, then it's a problem. So we have to look into the subject that you're teaching in physics, chemistry, biology, uh, mathematics, accounts, whatever you're teaching in the senior classes. Skipping classes is a very, very difficult solution. It's very unfortunate because my wife also is a teacher over here. She comes every day. Again, this is missed. I have to again do that. So, it's a cycle which is going on. But let's see. I hope these things would be brought into picture in a proper shape once COVID is over. And we cannot cut corners. Cutting corner is cutting the corner of the child ahead. Because when they go for higher studies, They have to understand the basic code to understand the advance. That's the way I look into it.
So well said that every next class requires a complete knowledge of the previous class, and if we just cancel the syllabus, then yes, that class the child can promote. But what about the rest of the classes that he's going to face for?
It's basically, cutting chapters like you're playing to the gallery. See, we have reduced it. You have reduced it. See how happy you should be. But you should understand the child is not going to end his career in by class 10th or 12th. Got a long innings to go ahead.
So true, sir. Joya ma'am. So we have seen this reduced syllabus, cancellation of exams, and many other disruptions in providing quality education. So what do you think? How should we bridge the gap?
Uh, well, I would like to say one thing: reduction of syllabus. It doesn't mean that we need not to teach that concept. That chapter will not be asked for evaluation. That is what I feel. If the connecting topics are there, we have to touch those topics, and that decision we have to take. Maybe we can teach them by some alternative method, maybe through activities, or maybe through the concept needs to be imparted, so it should not be omitted. I mean, this is what I tell to my fellow colleagues, my teachers, that touch that particular topic somewhere, some way, and impart that knowledge that is required for the next, that is a connecting link between two topics, two basically lessons, you can say. As Sanyal sir very truly said that if you teach third chapter and fifth chapter and leave fourth chapter in between, then the concept will not go smoothly to the student, and there will be a gap remaining in understanding that concept, that will create problem. Basically, it is not about the knowledge, it is the concept, means how you are perceiving that particular concept and how you are using it in your day to day life, that is important. Not just mugging up the things and just delivering it in your examination thing. That is not education. Education is learning from every bit that you are going through, every step you are working in the path of this education, the entire life education. So that is what I feel. Mm, I mean, I think if I'm not wrong, CBSE has asked us to cover up the deleted portion through activities and assignments. So that we are doing. So I don't think we will omit any chapter and do it. And yeah, definitely in terms of avoiding cancellation of examination, board examination. But then that was the need of that time. At that time the COVID situation was bad, and pandemic was in its second peak, and we can't basically risk the life of the students, so that decision was taken. But yes, throughout the year we evaluated them by various methods, various ways, and their overall performance was judged, their sincerity, actually their punctuality, their efforts, their in this teaching learning process was taken in consideration. And this is how we actually concluded the results that we made. I mean, not only this particular year, but we looked back in their, previous year and before that also, eighth, ninth. The result was consulted, and then we took a decision how the progresses and how where they should have been had it been a normal year with board examination. So this is what I think. This is how I see the thing. And how to
So
bridge the gap, that is created. Yes, gap bridging session are needed. Once we reopen, we need to concentrate more on the concepts they need in the next classes, and we have to conduct some bridge the gap sessions, a revision session for the students, for surely.
right, ma'am. Uh, so rightly you said that whenever there is some cancellation of chapters, that promotes the rote learning and inhibits or kills the analytical approach towards the subject. So yes, cancellation
Sure.
of syllabus has some has disrupted the learning process of the child. Ratna ma'am, your take on this, please.
You just wanted to know that how can we plan to bridge the gap? But I would
Yes,
mention that we cannot afford to create a bridge, to create a, sorry,
gap,
the gap.
gap.
Yes, we have to bridge it from time to time continuously. As ma'am has also mentioned, Joya ma'am, that CBSE had also, yes, there was a reduction of syllabus, but at the same time, the topics were covered somehow. So the topics, if they have been reduced, they have been reduced to reduce the stress of the children from the examination point of view. But knowledge is being imparted continuously, because if you have to teach that concept later on, you have to clear the basics of the child. So in this way, um, uh, the deleted syllabus, it is not actually deleted. It has been adjusted in some or the other way. The children have been imparted the knowledge if it was required for the next class, for the next academic session. So only the from examination point of view, if it is deleted, then it's fine. Otherwise, we cannot leave any topic untouched in through activities or through discussions. We had to cover up the entire syllabus, and the knowledge was continuously imparted to the children, because the teachers are experts of their own subjects. They know that what is required by the children, so they clear the concepts of the children. That is it.
Definitely, ma'am. And yes, to all the students who are watching this video or who will ever watch this video, never omit a concept just because it is not going to appear in the examination. Because yes, if you miss it, it is going to be a problem for you in the next 2, 3, 4 classes until you learn it and understand it properly. You just cannot skip it. So don't skip it. Ratna ma'am, I'll continue with you only. So, uh, can we have a measure of extent to which students or to which schools should rely on online teaching learning method? Like, even if
So
we open up.
yes, online. See, this pandemic has taught us another way of teaching. So side by side, it can be continued when and as and when it is required. Like we used to stop the teachers for extra classes. Now the teachers can go home and conduct the extra classes from home. The children also can go home, take their break, and then again get connected with us. So in this way, and extra classes, doubt solving sessions. On Sundays also, teachers are conducting doubt solving sessions. Some of the children in the senior classes, they are joining some or the other coaching classes, so they miss out the schools. So now when the parents come and ask us, are you going to support? Yes, we can support, and we have various ways to support your child, because your child does not have to come to the school for that if he has missed out anything. We will conduct online extra special coaching classes for those children, and those concepts will be cleared over there. So in this way, it can continue. It has got a very good. We have learned a lot from this pandemic, and this is also one of the thing that we have learned of great importance to help us in the field of education. So it is important. Of course, physical school is important. The presence of the teachers is important. The blessings and the touch and the teacher just patting the child, just keeping her hand on the head of the child. These things, Vivek is smiling. He must be remembering his own teachers right now. I think he has reached his school age and thinking of those things. So all these things, your teachers help. Your teachers, if you are emotionally down, immediately your teacher will look into your eyes. She will understand. Yes, something is wrong. She will offer you water. She will talk to you later on in the staff room, outside the staff room. So all these things, yes, their school atmosphere is very important. But side by side, we have also learned to get connected to remain connected with the children through this online sessions. So it is also important. We, the human beings, have learned a lot from this. And as
Yes.
educationists, should be always prepared to learn each day from our lives. So I mean, this generation who has seen this pandemic, they have a special learning sessions from the life. Thank you.
Right, ma'am. So, of course, the online teaching learning method will always add an extra edge towards the efficiency of our traditional school system. Uh, Sanyal sir,
Yes, sir.
can I have your views on this, please? Like,
Sure.
extent to which schools should rely on online teaching learning
Uh,
method.
I'll tell you one thing, Vivek. For this particular, once the situation becomes nice, online education, as far as my school is concerned, does not play much big role because my students stay here in the campus. But yes, there are going to be few students who are going to stay back home where the parents are still have, all parents will have a little bit of fear psychosis of sending the child to the school or not. So yes, we should continue with the online as and when it's concerned, because what I told the teachers also over here, that when the normal school goes on, because when my class is gone, we do online, offline simultaneously from the same class through those interactive boards. But even in the evening, when we have the prep classes for my uh, hostel students, at that time also start the online classes for them, because those students who are there at home, they should not feel that they're disconnected from the school in totality. So we continue the online, because online might not be so socially strong as far as the offline is concerned, but yes, educationally it also imparts. So why lose on it when this thing was there? And I think this COVID, whatever it has done to us, whatever bad it has done one thing very good. You very well get yourself trained for this current situation, be tech savvy or you're going to be a lost person. So many of my teachers who never could not type properly also have now are talking of next generation of communication, and this is only possible because of this. And students obviously are far ahead than us as far as this field is concerned. But yes, we have to go on because the connectivity should stay. You are either at school or at home. The more you connect, the more you grow. This is the way I look at it.
Right, sir. Of course, this hybrid mode will go on. And yes, this pandemic, COVID, as a forced measure, has taught educators also to adapt, evolve, and learn new things. Definitely, that has been a boon for sure for the entire society as well. Joya, ma'am, your views on this, please.
uh, Vivek, when we are talking about extent, we can't, give a particular figure right now. See, we are planning to reopen in a phased manner, right? Starting with a senior secondary class and secondary gradually, and then maybe the primary one. There also, with the consent of the parents, few students will be coming to school with, maybe half of the strength will be coming online, half of the strength will be taught through offline mode. But just a minute, okay. So just a minute, I'll just join back. Shall I join back in 2 minutes?
Yes, then we can.
Sure,
my
surely, ma'am.
my battery is actually going down. I'll
Not,
connect my
not, not,
charger.
not an issue, ma'am. So we'll take the answer. Anyways, we were on our last question. So, Ratna, ma'am, again, I'll start with you. Your concluding message for our students, parents, and viewers.
See, as an English teacher, I would just like to mention that once I had taught one chapter in a school that where it was a fictitious one, where the situation was that in 2050, that chapter was regarding 2050, that how will be the situation. And in that story, the drama was that the child gets up in the morning and then her mother says, "Get up, beta, your school has started." And where she just is rubbing her eyes and going and sitting in front of the laptop or the computer. That time, laptops were also not there when I had taught, or maybe when this chapter was written. So it was mentioned over there that she goes and sits in front of the computer. And this is her school, and the teacher will come in the laptop and in the computer, and the teacher will teach over there. So these things, and mother is ordering all the food at home, it is coming home. So when I had taught that chapter and it was regarding 2050, all those members sitting in that classroom, including myself and my students, could not imagine that this situation is going to occur so soon, that we would face this situation. I thought that I will not be alive at that time in 2050. So I would not be able to see this. How it will happen? How will the teacher come in the computer? How will this happen? But now everything is on our tips. You do not have to. Earlier we used to think, we used to talk about the smart classes. We used to boast of the smart classes, that so and so school has smart classes. But now those smart classes are in your smart phone, anywhere. My teachers had got connected with the children. They had taken these classes sitting in the hospitals as well, when they were admitted over there. So in this situation, so see how we are connected with the children, how we had made best use of this pandemic itself. We have to learn a lot from the life, and life has taught us a lot. So learn from it. Be very positive in your attitude towards life. Accept it as it is coming to you. Accept it as the blessing of God. Just pray to God each every time, and just feel happy that you are safe and secure, and you live a long life and see the normal life ahead. These are all my blessings and my wishes to all my viewers who are watching it. And I feel that for that, they have to follow the COVID norms. They have to remain inside. They have to keep their health intact. They have to uh, maintain the social distance, wear the mask, and take great care of not only yourself, your family, also your friends. Spread this message among all your social uh, circle, that please take care of yourself, your health, and every day pray not only for yourself but for everyone. हमारे देश की एक ये कहावत थी कि वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, और हम सभी के लिए प्रार्थना करते हैं. और आज तो माहौल ही ऐसा है, समय ही ऐसा आ गया that yes, we have to pray for everyone if we want to survive ourselves. So this is my message to everyone, that please let's pray for everyone. Let us feel very positive that very soon we will come out of it if we follow the discipline which is being educated to us by WHO and by our doctors, by our leaders, by our teachers, and by everyone. Thank you so much.
Definitely, ma'am, we all will. I also remembered one thing, like, when I was in school, we used to be given the hypothetical situation of write an essay on if you had wings or if there were no exams. And that part has, come true, that if there were no exams. So that nobody ever expected that will there be a situation where there will be no exams? Yes, it has happened. Sanyal,
Yes,
sir.
the board,
Yes,
sorry, I'll just interrupt. The board exams formally were not conducted in that manner, but yes, the exams were conducted in the school and the children were rendered the justice. Yes, please continue.
Okay, ma'am. Sanyal, sir, please, your concluding message and wishes for the readers, viewers, and students.
see, my concluding message is pandemic, no pandemic, the world is very, very tough ahead. And you have to face it with a lot of courage, a lot of sense of positiveness. But you have to also rethink all aspects of improvement. If you take it in a lackadaisical method attitude, that okay, this is happening, we'll also go this way, then life goal also will become lackadaisical. And if this thing happens, you are banging your own leg with your own axe. You do not know where to go. All this situation comes, don't make this an excuse that, oh, because of this I could not do, because this pandemic exam that we had this year is not going to continue. We have to face it, or else you'll be far, far behind when others are going to go miles ahead. So it's for everyone. There is no shortcut in life. There is no loose ways of going up in life. Life is a gift to you. Face it with a full commitment of doing well, or else you'll be miles ahead and your friends will be miles before you. So do not take this pandemic as an excuse. If the pandemic has been devastating for us, it has also taught us new avenues of how to go ahead. I think this is what the students should also understand and face the world with a lot of confidence, a lot of positiveness. I think that's the only way we can face this situation and keep smiling later on also. Thank you.
Definitely. So thank you so much. Joya, ma'am, your concluding message for our students, parents, and viewers.
Yes, yes, Vivek. And first of all, to begin with, I would like to apologize for the technical issue that came before me, and I would like to start from where I left. Right. So we were
Please.
talking regarding the extent in one sentence, I would like to say, in a phased manner, as uh, we will introduce the offline classes, we should recede the online classes gradually. Not,
Right.
I mean, yeah, a part of it, maybe 10, 15, 20% of it will stay even after the pandemic is over. We found a way to reach out the students after the school hours as well. So a part of it will stay forever, right? So, and my concluding message to the parents and the students over here, I request all the students to grab all the opportunities you are getting to learn. Learning is basically in your hand. Nobody can come and teach you anything until and unless you want to learn. So that wanting is in your hands. Whatever facilities you are getting, your teachers are guiding you, your school is cooperating with you, grab the opportunity and take the maximum of it. Learn, grow, stay connected. And I request the parents, because when the students are in school, we can take care of the entire things, all the aspects. But since we are not able to reach out physically to our students, that responsibility is entrusted onto the parents. So
Sure.
parents have to cooperate, the schools, and what we can't do, you have to do for your children, for our children. You have to monitor them, you have to guide them correctly, be in touch with the schools. And I wish all the best, and with a prayer that soon the situations will improve. With a positive note, on a positive note, I would like to conclude wishing all my students and their parents good luck, and good future.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Ratna ma'am, Sanyal sir, and Joya ma'am for your time and so beautiful points that you conveyed for all the questions. And yes, Joya ma'am, especially, you just gave me the topic for my next talk. Yes, my next topic would be changing role of students and parents in future education. So yes,
Thank you.
parents' role are important. Thank you so much, all three of you, for giving a valuable time and inputs.
Sure.
Thank you
Sure.
so much.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I mean, thank you so much, Jai Hind.